Good morning, everyone. Today, just a recall of what till now we have understood in this lesson. So, in this lesson, first of all, we have read about the French society during the late 18th century. French society during the late 18th century, in which we have already understood that the France was under the monarchy. France was under the monarchy, means under the rule of the king, and king was of which family? Bourbon family, and name of the king was Louis XVI. Clear? So Louis XVI was the monarch from Bourbon family who was ruling there in France. Clear? Then next we have also understood about that there was an acute shortage of finance during the prolonged war and extravagant court. Means when uh, Louis XVI sat on the throne, he got the empty treasure, and the empty treasure. Why he got the empty treasure? Because of the long war, long prolonged war and extravagant court. Extravagant court means कोर्ट ऑफ वर्सिलीज. वर्सिलीज का जो किला था, जो फोर्ट था, वो बहुत ही बड़ा था. तो उसको देखभाल के लिए भी बहुत सारा पैसा खर्च होता था. एंड दैट इज वाई द एक्स्ट्रावेजेंट कोर्ट and the prolonged wars made the treasure empty. Then next year, we have also seen that after the long prolonged wars and all, France has helped American colonies to get the independence, and for due to which France, from a creditor, becomes a debtor, and then due to the means the situation of a debtor, the king started to increase the taxes. Now the king was forced to increase the taxes. Then what happened? Society was based on a state of feudal system. Now the society of the estates was the part of the feudal system. What was the feudal system? Feudal system we can say is a type of, in Hindi we can say Samantwad. In Hindi we can say as Samantwad. And in that system, the bonded labor was there. Bonded labor was there means the uh, third estate in the France society. We will talk about that the people of third estate, that is peasants, artisans. We have already understood that they had to work for these feudal lords. Now, who were the feudal lords? They were the landlords. They were having own land. उनके पास बड़ी बड़ी अपनी जमीनें थी, जमींदार थे वो लोग बड़े बड़े. They were having a quite big lot of means land and all, and on that land these peasants and artisans and the people of the third estate, usually the small peasants, landless laborers, and used to work for these feudal landlords. ठीक है, सामंतवाद समझ में आ गया, feudal system. And then we have also understood about the term old regime. I hope you have underlined this old regime term. The term old regime. What was the term old regime? Old regime was the term usually used to describe the society and institution before 1817. So before 1817, whatever society and institutions were there in France before 1789, it was termed as old regime. Clear? Then we have also seen and understood about the uh, division of the society, that is social setup. This was the social setup, we can say, of the France. In the first state, we have seen the clergy. Clergy, who were the clergy people? They were the religious holy people. Then second state, we have seen the nobility, the wealthy people, noble people, wealthy people who used to work for the king. In the third state, we can say that the third state again was divided into three categories. The third state again was divided into three categories. In the first category, big businessmen, merchants, court official, lawyer came. They were the learned people. The second category of the third estate, they were included in the third estate only, but the third estate was divided into three categories again. First was the learned people who were used to work in the offices and all, who were the lawyers and all. The second category of the third estate belongs to the peasants. Peasants means farmers and artisans. Artisans means the people who were indulged in one particular art or craft activity. So the third estate, the second category of the third estate was consisting of peasants and artisans. And the third estate again had the third category of the people, which were small peasants, छोटे farmers थे. They were landless labor. Landless labor means जिनके पास कोई जमीन नहीं थी, and they were servants. They used to serve the feudal lords. Feudal system जो कि या वो क्लर्जी या नोबिलिटी को सर्व करते थे, मीन्स अदर टू स्टेट को सर्व करते थे, या फ्यूडल लॉर्ड्स को सर्व करते थे, उनके जमीनों पे एग्रीकल्चर फार्म्स पे काम करते थे, और नहीं तो उनके कभी कभी उनको सर्विस प्रोवाइड करते थे, कहाँ पर, उनके घरों में. वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन दिस. The first two estates, that is about the clergy and the nobles, they enjoyed privileges by birth. That is, first we will talk about the clergy. Clergy enjoyed the privileges by birth. Means उनको जन्म से ही उनको कुछ opportunities, कुछ benefits दे दिए जाते थे. Means अगर आप clergy religious leaders या religious first category में अगर कोई बच्चा born हुआ है, तो from the birth only he used to get the privileges. Then they were exempted from paying the taxes. Taxes भी उनको pay नहीं करने पड़ते थे. And they extracted taxes from taxes called tithes. अभी clergy कौन थे? Religious holy people. तो वो लोग क्या means tax collect करने का काम भी करते थे एक तरीके से. And today we are going to read about these two types of taxes, tithes and telly. टिट्स एंड टेली, ये दो टाइप्स ऑफ टैक्सेस वहां पर लोगों को पे करने पड़ते थे. एंड दैट टू द पीपल ऑफ द थर्ड एस्टेट एंड थर्ड कैटेगरी ऑफ थर्ड एस्टेट वी कैन से. ठीक है ना. तो ये क्लर्जी जो थे, एक तो इनको प्रिविलेजेस बाय बर्थ था, एक इनको टैक्स पे नहीं करना पड़ता था. एंड थर्ड थिंग अबाउट द मेन थिंग अबाउट द क्लर्जी वाज दे यूज्ड टू एक्सट्रैक्ट टैक्सेस फ्रॉम टैक्सेस कॉल्ड एज टिट्स. टिट्स नाम का एक टैक्स था, वो ये लोग लोगों से इकट्ठा करते थे, थर्ड कैटेगरी लोगों से इकट्ठा करते थे, थर्ड एस्टेट के लोगों से. क्लियर. नाउ नोबिलिटी, नोबिलिटी के बारे में देखेंगे हम. तो नोबिलिटी के बारे में हमने ये देखा कि दे ऑल्सो एंजॉयड फ्यूडल प्रिविलेजेस. दे एंजॉयड द फ्यूडल प्रिविलेजेस. जो भी फ्यूडल लैंडलॉर्ड्स को उनको जमीनें थी उनके पास, दे यूज्ड टू हैव देयर ओन means workers, servants, and all those privileges were enjoyed by these nobility class. Then they were also exempted from being the from paying the taxes. उनको भी टैक्स पे करने का कोई जरूरत नहीं थी, वो नहीं देते थे. एंड दे एक्सपेक्टेड टैक्सेस कॉल्ड टेली. और वो जो टैक्स एक्सट्रैक्ट करते थे थर्ड एस्टेट के लोगों के से, थर्ड कैटेगरी के लोगों से, थर्ड एस्टेट के थर्ड कैटेगरी के लोगों से वो टैक्स कलेक्ट करते थे, दैट वाज कॉल्ड एज टेली. क्लियर दिस मच. ये टैक्सेस के बारे में अभी हम डिटेल्स में पढ़ेंगे. अभी मैंने इन दो के बारे में बताया, क्लर्जी एंड नोबिलिटी. ये क्या इनमें मींस प्रिविलेजेस थी, ये क्या इंपॉर्टेंस रखते थे फ्रेंच सोसाइटी में. नाउ द थर्ड एस्टेट first part, we have already understood that big businessmen, merchants, court, they were the means learned people. Second part was of the third estate was of peasants and artisans, and third part of the third estate was peasants, landless laborers, and servants. And these categories were burdened by the taxes. Means जो भी टैक्स स्टेट ने लगाए थे, राजा ने लगाए थे, they used to pay the taxes. That means the third estate used to pay the taxes, and especially these people, small peasants, landless laborers, and servants, they used to pay the taxes also, and they used to work in the house and fields of the nobles, of the landlords also. Clear. So these people of the third estate, they used to pay the taxes. और जो नीचे थर्ड एस्टेट की जो थर्ड कैटेगरी वी आर सीइंग अबाउट द स्मॉल पेजेंट्स, लैंडलेस लेबरर्स, ये घरों में जाकर भी काम करते थे बिग पीजेंट्स, बिग लैंडलॉर्ड्स के, जिनके खुद की अपनी लैंड्स थी. Clear? Now we come to about the last paragraph of this uh, page. The church. The church too extracted its share of taxes called tithes. A church may means who will come in the church? In the church, religious preachers will come definitely. The religious leaders will come. They were extracting their share of tax called tithes. अब चर्च क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था टैक्स? चर्च जो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था, जो लोगों से टैक्स ले रहा था, इट वाज कॉल्ड एज टिट्स फ्रॉम द पेजेंट्स. और ये टिट्स का किससे लिया जा रहा था? ये टैक्स पेजेंट से लिया जा रहा था. एंड फाइनली ऑल मेंबर्स ऑफ द थर्ड एस्टेट हैड टू पे टैक्सेस टू द स्टेट. और जो थर्ड एस्टेट के जो जितने भी मेंबर्स थे, दे हैड टू पे द डायरेक्ट टैक्स टू द स्टेट. डायरेक्ट टैक्स कौन सा? Which was the direct tax? It was tally. Clear? So church was extracting tithes from the peasants, and finally all the peasants as well as all the members of the third estate, they had to pay the particular tax that was called as tally to the state overall. Clear? So a number of indirect taxes were which were levied on articles of everyday consumption like salt or tobacco. अब जो दूसरे और भी टैक्स थे, इन दो टैक्स के अलावा और भी दूसरे टैक्स थे जो कि लोगों को देने पड़ रहे थे. Levied मीन्स जो एवरीडे आर्टिकल्स पे वो टैक्सेस लगाए गए थे. जैसे कंजम्पशन ऑफ सॉल्ट एंड टबैको, ये कॉमन आइटम्स जो थे, सॉल्ट एंड टबैको, इन पे भी वो टैक्स लगाए गए थे. एंड द पीपल ऑफ द थर्ड एस्टेट वर वर आस्क्ड टू पे these taxes. The burden of financing activities of the state through taxes was borne by the third estate alone. That means the burden of financing activities of the state. State को finance कौन कर रहा था? Now in one sense, state को finance कैसे हो रहा था? वो in taxes से उनको finance हो रहा था. अब वो taxes का burden किसको ऊपर भार पड़ रहा था टैक्स पे करने का? It was on the third estate alone. Means nobles and clergy they were exempted, उनको नहीं पे करना पड़ा था. And the third estate alone had to pay the taxes, the financial burden which was there on the state. I hope till it is here clear. Now here you can mark clergy. Clergy is a group of person invested with special functions in the church. That is the religious people and all who work for the church. Tithes. Tithe is a tax levied by the church. Tax levied means put on by the church. Church के द्वारा लगाया गया जो tax, and it comprised of 1/10 of agricultural produce. अब इस tax में क्या होता था? It was 1/10 of agricultural produce. जो भी land पे produce किया गया है, cultivation हुआ है, उसका 1/10 of whatever it is produced, it should be paid to the church, and it was called as tithes. And next, the tally. Tally was a tax to be paid direct to the estate. You can underline also this. What was tally? Tally was the direct was the tax paid directly to the state. I hope this is clear. Next, the struggle to survive. Now the struggle to survive. The population of France rose from about 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1718. Now what happened? The population of France was growing day by day, and that is why we will see that 23 millions was there in 1715. Means in the year 1715 the population of France was 23 million, and in 1789 it rose to 28 million. That means 23 million से लेके 28 million तक पहुंच गई थी population within these years from 1715 to 1789. Now this led to rapid increase in the demand for food grains, but natural When the population will increase, the demand for the food grains will be there. अगर population increase होगी तो उनको खाने के लिए अन्न भी तो जरूरत पड़ेगी. तो it is clear here that the increasing population was in demand for the food grains. Now, production of the grains could not keep pace with the demand. Production of the grains could not keep pace with the demand. That means जितना क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन हो रहा था उतना पॉपुलेशन को मीन्स फीड नहीं किया जा पा रहा था, उतने से क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन में पॉपुलेशन फुली फीड नहीं की जा रही थी. सो प्रोडक्शन ऑफ ग्रेन्स कुड नॉट कीप पेस विद द डिमांड. जितना डिमांड हो रहा था, पॉपुलेशन की डिमांड मोर एंड मोर थी. एज पॉपुलेशन वाज इंक्रीजिंग, फूड ग्रेन्स वर मोर इन डिमांड, बट जितना डिमांड था उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो कल्टीवेशन था वो एडिक्वेट नहीं था, सफिशिएंट नहीं था. So the price of bread, which was the staple diet of majority, rose rapidly. और जैसे demand increase हुई, definitely when demand will be there of particular thing, scarcity will be there of that commodity, and when scarcity will be there, then definitely the price of that commodity will be increasing. So यहाँ पर भी वही हुआ फ्रांस में कि जैसे डिमांड हुई फूड ग्रेन्स की and scarcity arose of the food grains, thus the staple diet means important diet, which was lagged by all, which was means used by all. That particular bread was used by all people, which was demanded by all the people in majority. That price of the bread was becoming now high. Most workers were employed as laborers in the workshops, and most of the workers जो भी काम करते थे, they were employed as the laborers. Labor के रूप में वो workshops में काम करते थे, whose owner fixed their wages, and their wages were fixed. Wages means their salary was fixed. So the most of the people of the France were the laborers who used to work in the shops and all, and whatever salary was there, they were getting that was fixed amount. But the wages did not keep pace with the rise of in the price. What happened? The wages were fixed, but the rise of the price of the bread was rising day by day, and thus the whatever the amount of wages they were getting, the amount of money the people were getting, they that was not enough to buy the daily bread. मतलब खाने को रोटी नहीं खरीद सकते थे उतने पैसे में. So the gap between poor and rich widened. And what happened now? The gap between rich and poor widened. Gap ज़्यादा बढ़ गया. जो rich लोग थे वो आसानी से ये चीजें खरीदते थे, but then also they had to think twice, and poor were not at all means getting enough of bread. They were not able to fulfill their day-to-day needs also. Things became worse whenever drought or hail reduced the harvest. And whenever the drought means सूखा पड़ जाना, hail means ओला पड़ जाना. तो जब कभी भी सूखा पड़ जाता था, when there was no rain, और या ओले वगैरह पड़ जाते थे, then nowadays also you can see that it is very difficult for the farmers when there is drought or hail in particular area, and the cultivation is very less at that particular moment, particular time period. And the same thing happened when in France the condition was such worse that it become more worse when there was a drought or hail, and that reduced the harvest, the crop cultivation, and this led to subsistence crisis. और इससे क्या हुआ? Subsistence crisis हो गया. Subsistence crisis. Now what is subsistence crisis? You can underline this. It is an extreme situation where the basic means of livelihood are endangered. That means जब लोगों के पास बेसिक चीजें नहीं फुलफिल कर पा रहे हैं वो, और तब मीन्स डे टू डे लाइफ में अपनी जो फुलफिलमेंट है, जो खाने की जो उनकी नीड है वो भी पूरी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, that condition, that situation is termed as subsistence crisis. I hope it is clear what is subsistence crisis. Something that occurred frequently in France during the old regime. और ये condition subsistence crisis की condition when people were not getting the, what is the subsistence crisis? It is the condition when people were not getting enough of food. The people were not getting enough of food. That was called as subsistence crisis, the extreme situation. Clear? And in this condition, uh, uh, was means often on frequently occurred in the France during which period? During old regime, that is early 18th century. Sorry, late 18th century. Clear? I hope till it is here it is clear. Next, now how the subsistence crisis happened. Now how the subsistence crisis happened. Now this is a chart given over here. Now you can find out the things, the activities given here. From here you can find out the this is the help box, which terms will be coming here. Now due to bad harvest, अगर bad harvest हुआ, अच्छा production नहीं हुआ, तो what will be the condition after bad harvest? Who will speak out? Bad harvest से क्या होगा?
Prices. Rising
Ma'am,
food
scarcity
prices.
of grains.
Scarcity
Yes.
of food grain.
Yes, scarcity of grain will be there. Scarcity of
Grains.
will be there. So you can mark this scarcity of grains will be here. Good. Then if scarcity of grain will be there, then what will be there? खाने की अगर कमी पड़ेगी तो क्या होगा?
Rising
Ma'am,
food
no one
prices.
will get food to eat.
Rising food prices.
Yes, very good.
Ma'am, rising food price.
Rising food prices. Good. तो पहले तो बैड हार्वेस्ट हुआ. बैड हार्वेस्ट मीन्स कल्टीवेशन प्रॉपर नहीं हुआ, एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन अच्छे से नहीं हुआ. देन व्हाट विल हैपन? देन देयर विल बी स्कैरसिटी ऑफ ग्रेन्स. खाने की कमी, फूड ग्रेन्स की कमी पड़ जाएगी. एंड व्हेन देयर विल बी स्कैरसिटी ऑफ ग्रेन्स, जब कमी पड़ जाएगी तो नेचुरली लोग क्या करेंगे? प्राइसेस हाई कर देंगे. तो राइजिंग ऑफ द फूड प्राइसेस. then what happened? The poorest can no longer buy bread. अब जब food prices high हो जाएंगे, then the condition will be there in which the poor will not be able to afford the food. Clear? Now after this condition of the poor people, next what will happen to the poor people? अगर वो खाने को नहीं खरीद सकेंगे तो क्या?
Ma'am, weaker body.
Ma'am, weaker bodies.
Very
Ma'am,
good.
weaker
Weaker
body.
bodies will be there. Here weaker bodies will be there, and here another
Food
thing,
resist.
food rights will be there. Food rights.
Food rights.
Food rights means खाने के लिए रिवोल्ट होने लगेगा. लोग गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ खड़े हो जाएंगे, है ना? वी कैन से मीन्स एक तरीके से अगेंस्ट में खड़े हो जाएंगे. सो दिस विल बी द कंडीशन. एंड देन डिजीज एपिडेमिक्स अगर कुछ हो जाएगा, देन व्हाट विल हैपन? कोई
Ma'am,
disease-
increase number of deaths.
yes, then it will prevail to number of deaths. Hope it is clear. This flow chart is clear. One after another.
Yes,
What will
ma'am.
be the condition?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Condition दूसरे
I'm
को
clear.
से क्या लिंक करती है? Now the growing middle class envisage an end to privileges. अब now in this paragraph we will read about the growing middle class. Growing middle class means the educated middle class people. Now they come in front to oppose the government to end the privileges of given which were given to the high estate, that is the nobles and the clergy people. So this growing middle class wanted to end the privileges, the benefits which were given to the first two estate people. Now, in the past, peasants and workers had participated in the revolts against increasing taxes and food scarcity. Now, past में we have we have seen that peasants and workers, जो farmers हैं और जो काम करने वाले workers हैं, they had participated in the revolts. उन्होंने किस में participate किया? Revolts में. Against में एक तरीके से गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट में, किसके अगेंस्ट में? increasing taxes and food scarcity. खाने की कमी हो रही थी, टैक्सेस इंक्रीज हो रहे थे, इसीलिए जो peasants and workers थे, they stood against the government, against the king, but they lacked the means and programs to carry out full-scale measures that would bring about a change in the social and economic order. But they were lacking. उनके पास क्या था? कमी थी means and programs to carry out. कैसे वो काम means एक तरीके से एक के बाद एक कैसे वो लोगों को साथ में लेकर के और गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ आंदोलन करें, किस टाइप से वो गवर्नमेंट को अपोज कर सकते हैं against the increasing taxes and food security. So they were not having proper means and proper programs. They were not well planned beforehand only to oppose against the government for increasing taxes and food scarcity. This was left to those groups with the third estate who had become prosperous and had access to education and new ideas. Now, this thing to carry forward the program of revolting against the increasing taxes and food scarcity. This program was given in the hands of now whom? The prosperous and the uh, means to those group of people who are prosperous and they have the access to education and new ideas. That means we have already understood about this. Big businessmen, merchants, official, lawyers. So the third estate people who were learned people, these group of people now started to form the groups within themselves and to oppose or to take forward, to carry forward the programs against the government for increasing taxes and food grains, food scarcity. I hope till the first paragraph it is clear. Peasants and workers ने revolt शुरू करा, but they were not having proper program, proper planning and all, and thus this program, this planning was carried forward by the group of people of third estate only. थर्ड एस्टेट, बट थर्ड एस्टेट में भी कुछ ऐसे लोग थे जो लर्नेड थे, जो एजुकेटेड थे और जो वेल्दी पीपल थे, उन लोगों ने गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ आवाज उठाई. क्लियर? आई होप इट इज क्लियर.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now, the 18th century witnessed the emergence of social groups termed the middle class. Now, the 18th century, the new class of social group emerged in France, which was called as middle class. Middle class करके एक नई group, social group सामने आया in the 18th century, who earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade and from the manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textiles that were either exported or brought by the richer members of the society. Now they had earned, they were the wealthy people, middle class people, they were the wealthy businessmen and learned people, educated people. They had earned the wealth. अब उनको कैसे वो wealthy बने, कैसे वो पैसे वाले बने? By expanding the trade, overseas trade means बाहर देशों में जाकर के उन्होंने अपना ट्रेड import and export शुरू करा. Manufacturing of goods such as woolen or silk textile जो import और export किया उन्होंने, buying and selling बाहर देशों में उन्होंने करा, इससे वो क्या बन गए? Richer class of the society. And in addition to merchants and manufacturers, the third estate included professions such as lawyers and administrative officials. अब वो एक और कैटेगरी हमने पढ़ी थी ना थर्ड कैटेगरी में, थर्ड एस्टेट की was divided into three categories, and in this three categories also one category of businessmen, merchants, officials and lawyers. So this category formed the what? The new social order, that is the middle class. So एक तो businessman wealthy कैसे बने? By the trade with the other countries. And another other class people also was there, which included the professions such as lawyers and administrative officials. All of these were educated and believed that no group in the society should be privileged by birth. अब ये लोग क्या इनका belief था? They believe that one should be treated equally and nobody should be getting स्पेशल अपॉर्चुनिटी और स्पेशल बेनिफिट्स बाय बर्थ। किसी को भी जन्म से ही कुछ अधिकार नहीं मिलना चाहिए। रादर अ पर्सन सोशल पोजीशन मस्ट डिपेंड ऑन देयर इज मेरिट। मगर उनकी जो सोशल पोजीशन है, समाज में उनकी जो पोजीशन है, वो किस पे डिपेंड होनी चाहिए? उनकी मेरिट पे। उनकी मेरिट पे मीन्स उनकी अच्छाइयों पे, उनके वर्क पे, जो वो काम कर रहे हैं। These ideas envisaging a society based on freedom and equal laws. That means these ideas envisaging society based on freedom of equal laws. अब ये जो ideas थे to for equality for all, ये अब society में क्या हो रहे थे? फैल रहे थे, so that everybody should get freedom and equal opportunities or equal laws should be there for each and everyone, were put forward by philosophers. Now we will read about philosophers also. uh, which who were the philosophers? Now these philosophers were such as John Locke. First name is John Locke. Second is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So these were the two main important philosophers who put their ideas, who were in favor of freedom, equal laws, and opportunities for all. And their ideas were spread widely in the French society. Clear? So today I end up here only. In our next class, whenever we'll meet, we'll continue from this Institute Treatise of Government. That is the book written by Locke. Clear? Okay, fine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day, ma'am.